Being a snake milker sounds like the most hardcore job on Earth. You picture it immediately. Bare hands, a hooded cobra rearing up inches from your face. One clean motion, and you're the most impressive person at every dinner party for the rest of your life. What actually happens in the 2 seconds after a snake decides to bite you? What does this job even pay compared to what you're risking every shift? What does it do to your head after the 100th snake, not just the first one? And what part of this job has nothing to do with the snakes at all? That's the wrong question. The real question is, how do you spend every day collecting something that could kill you and still make it home? Stick around. The answer isn't what you think.
You picture yourself in a warm, sunlit reptile house, a king cobra draped calmly over your forearm like a oversized, extremely judgmental cat. You're relaxed, the snake is relaxed. Somewhere a camera is definitely rolling because a moment like this deserves to be seen. It feels like the ultimate flex job. No desk, no fluorescent lighting, no boss breathing down your neck about a deadline. Just you, raw instinct, and an animal that could end your life in under an hour. And you're just not scared of it. Now, let's break it.
You grip the snake firmly, right behind the head. No hesitation, no shaky grip, no second attempt. You press its mouth down onto a rubber membrane stretched tight over a collection vial. It bites. Venom drips down the glass in slow amber beads, and you gently massage the venom gland to get every last drop. Then you do it again, and again. Sometimes 40 or 50 times in a single shift, moving between cobras, vipers, and kraits that all kill you in completely different ways. And here's the detail that should terrify you more than the snake itself. A lot of this is done with minimal gloves, or none at all. So what actually happens in those 2 seconds after a mistake? Fangs sink in, venom starts spreading immediately, and depending on the species, you've got anywhere from 20 minutes to a few hours before things turn serious. Best case, you lose a finger. Worst case, you don't make it to a hospital in time. And here's the cruel irony nobody mentions. If a rare or exotic species bites you, the antivenom for it might not even exist yet in your building.
Remember that question? What does this job even pay compared to what you're risking every shift? It usually doesn't. Most venom extraction happens at nonprofit labs, public health institutes, and small reptile parks. Not exactly Silicon Valley budgets. And the antivenom made from that venom often has to stay cheap because the people who need it most urgently tend to live in places that can least afford to pay premium prices for it. Meanwhile, by the time that same antivenom reaches a hospital pharmacy in a wealthier country, a single treatment course can cost more than most people's monthly rent. So you're not risking amputation for a 6-figure salary. You're risking it for a modest paycheck, working for an industry where the money moves everywhere except toward you. You're doing one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet, for the pay of a job that's never once tried to kill anyone.
Now, what does this job do to your head after the 100th snake? Not just the first one. The physical risk isn't even the hardest part. The hardest part is your own brain. You cannot have an off day. Not one. Not after a bad night's sleep, not during a fight with your partner, not on the anniversary of the year everything went wrong. So you live in a permanent state of low-grade vigilance that never fully switches off, even at home. Your nervous system doesn't get that luxury quite as easily because it's spent all day being told that letting your guard down has a body count. And here's a strange side effect nobody warns you about. The fear you'd expect to feel every single day eventually fades. Mostly, it just feels hollow. Like some part of you quietly stopped treating your own life as something worth being scared for. Wait, it gets worse. That fading fear from a second ago isn't just an emotional cost. It's an active liability. Here's the myth everyone believes. The more times you get bitten, the more immune you become. That's mostly false, and dangerously false. For almost everyone doing this professionally, every single bite is exactly as dangerous as the first one. So the job doesn't get safer with experience, it gets more dangerous because experience is exactly what breeds the complacency that gets people hurt. Here's the part that changes everything. And it's the part that has nothing to do with the snakes at all. You're not doing this job for the adrenaline high anymore. You're doing it because you're one of a small number of people on Earth willing to sit that close to death, over and over. That reframes the whole thing. This was never a daredevil job. It's infrastructure. Quiet, unglamorous, essential infrastructure. You're basically a one-person supply chain for other people's survival. Which brings us back to where we started. You spend every single day within inches of something that could kill you. No armor, no powers, just your hands, your focus, and one very thin rubber membrane between you and a very bad afternoon. So, how do you keep showing up?
Let's answer it. How do you spend every day collecting something that could kill you and still make it home? Here's the real answer. You don't survive this job by being fearless. You survive it by treating fear as information instead of emotion, reading it instead of reacting to it, and running the exact same checklist on repetition 1000 as you did on repetition 1, no matter how tired, distracted, or bored you are that day. And the real reason you keep showing up isn't for the highlight reel, and it isn't for the paycheck either. It's because somewhere out there, someone you will never meet survives a snake bite because you didn't flinch today. You're the quiet, precise reason someone else gets to be the hero of theirs. So, yeah, being a snake milker sounds like the most hardcore job